The next situation unfolds along a snow-covered road, where a Ukrainian drone identifies two Russian soldiers moving across the exposed surface. After covering a short distance, both men stop beneath a large tree to rest, using the trunk as partial cover. From above, the pause confirms their position. The drone commits and descends with controlled speed, closing the distance quickly. As the aircraft approaches, one soldier raises his weapon in a delayed reaction, but there is no opportunity to respond effectively. The drone completes the engagement before either soldier can relocate. The sequence underscores how brief halts and predictable rest points become liabilities under continuous aerial observation in winter conditions. The scene moves to a snow-blanketed field along the Donetsk axis. A Russian soldier advances across open ground, his movement clearly outlined against the pale terrain. Shortly after, several Ukrainian drones enter overhead, maintaining altitude and coordinating their positions. Once the target is positively identified, the perimeter contracts. One FPV drone separates from the group, dives with controlled speed, and commits, closing the distance before any escape becomes possible. The scene takes place along a forest edge near the front line. A Russian soldier stops beneath a tree, using the moment to rest and reorient. Minutes later, a Ukrainian drone reaches the same location, only to find it abandoned. The operator expands the search area and quickly spots new movement under a second tree nearby. The drone redirects and advances with measured control, prioritizing alignment over speed. As it closes in, the soldier breaks cover and attempts to flee, firing upward in a last effort to interfere. It has no effect. The drone holds course, confirms the target, and completes the strike. What appeared to be a small adjustment ends as proof that even brief movement is tracked under constant aerial surveillance. Two Russian soldiers move along a snow-covered road, their tracks clearly marked across the white surface. The aircraft commits and forces the lead soldier down into the snow. The second soldier remains unharmed, shows no reaction, and continues forward without stopping, leaving his partner behind. The fallen soldier slowly rises, realizing he has been left alone. He removes part of his gear to reduce weight and regain movement, then continues on his own. Reaching a small ridge of compacted snow, he loses balance and falls again. Seconds later, a second drone descends and completes the engagement. The sequence highlights how aerial pressure reveals isolation, hesitation, and the consequences of fragmented movement in open winter terrain. Near the remains of a damaged building inside a contested zone, two Russian soldiers rest along a fallen wall, speaking softly and showing no signs of concern. The atmosphere appears momentarily calm. Without notice, a drone approaches. The exchange stops as the engagement unfolds. Near a forest edge, a Ukrainian drone detects a Russian soldier moving away from the tree line and slipping into a drainage culvert in an attempt to hide. The aircraft reacts immediately, maintaining continuous tracking without losing visual contact. With the position confirmed and no alternate exits observed, the drone follows into the confined space and completes the engagement. The moment illustrates how narrow shelters can quickly become traps once aerial tracking is established. A Russian soldier lies resting on open ground when a Ukrainian drone releases ammunition nearby. The impact does not end the encounter, but it shatters his composure. Panic sets in as he claws at the soil, attempting to create cover where none exists. The open terrain offers no protection, only exposure. After a brief pause, he looks upward, lips moving as if trying to speak or signal, his focus locked on the sound overhead. The drone does not rush. It holds position, observing every movement and confirming there is no escape or support nearby. Once the situation is fully assessed, the drone commits and completes the engagement, closing a sequence shaped by fear, isolation, and sustained aerial pressure. A Russian soldier crosses exposed ground near a solitary utility pole, unaware he is already under observation from above. A Ukrainian drone approaches and commits, disrupting his movement and forcing him down into the grass. The soldier remains still, unable to continue. Several minutes later, a second drone arrives, verifies the position, and completes the engagement. The sequence demonstrates how exposure in open terrain allows layered drone coverage to detect, isolate, and resolve targets with precision and timing. A Russian soldier looks skyward just as a Ukrainian drone closes in. The initial strike knocks him into dry brush, breaking momentum but not awareness. He continues scanning above, then drags himself toward a fallen tree and slips underneath for cover. The drone maintains altitude and observation. Moments later, another munition lands nearby. The soldier is lightly injured and can no longer stand. He begins crawling, searching for shelter at the base of another tree. From above, the drone tracks each slow movement without haste. After confirming mobility is exhausted, it descends again and completes the engagement. The sequence shows how persistence, patience, and constant aerial visibility steadily remove every remaining option. The scene unfolds across open, snow-covered terrain in the direction of Pokrovsk, captured from above by a Ukrainian drone. A Ukrainian armored vehicle moves quickly over the exposed field, closing in on nearby Russian troops. From the aerial view, spacing and movement stand out clearly against the white ground. The vehicle commits, relying on speed and momentum to break the formation. Within seconds, two soldiers are neutralized. The sequence highlights how winter visibility and rapid maneuver reduce reaction time and leave minimal opportunity to adapt. A later scene shows a Russian soldier moving across open ground before stopping briefly to rest. A Ukrainian drone appears overhead and releases a munition nearby, forcing an immediate reaction. Moments later, a second drop follows. This time, equipment in the soldier's vest is damaged and begins emitting smoke, signaling failure rather than protection. He looks upward, panic visible as he realizes the threat cannot be reached. The drone maintains position above, turning a short pause in exposed terrain into a moment of irreversible vulnerability. Along the Lyman axis, Ukrainian heavy drones operating under the call sign Baba Yaga conduct repeated night missions against locations assessed as Russian temporary living positions. The footage is attributed to the Air Predators unit of the 53rd Mechanized Brigade, working under sustained pressure in forested and semi-urban terrain near Lyman. From altitude, the drone maintains steady flight, identifying heat signatures and movement patterns consistent with prolonged occupancy rather than brief transit. Instead of a single strike, the system delivers sequential drops with controlled spacing. After each release, operators pause briefly to observe changes in movement, light, and sound. This approach limits uncertainty and reduces wasted payloads. Ground response appears fragmented, with no coordinated evacuation or effective concealment once the pattern becomes clear. The drone remains overhead, adjusting position to maintain visual control while denying safe re-entry to the structures below. The operation reflects a broader tactical method employed by the air predators of the 53rd Mechanized Brigade, where persistence, repetition, and patience replace speed and shock. The result is sustained pressure rather than immediate destruction, forcing decisions over time. In this environment, fixed shelters lose value, and time itself becomes a tool shaped by constant observation from above. Along the Pokrovsk axis, personnel from Ukraine's 8th Special Purpose Regiment carry out a methodical clearance operation against a concealed Russian shelter located deep inside a snow-covered forest within the contested zone. After reaching designated positions, the team delivers an initial explosive charge into the hidden structure to assess integrity and reaction. Immediately afterward, the operators disperse in a controlled formation, establishing a full security perimeter around the site. Each member covers an assigned sector, weapons trained on the entrance, while others monitor the surrounding tree line to prevent unexpected contact. Movement remains disciplined and deliberate. Rather than rushing the position, a second charge is placed and delivered into the shelter. The unit withdraws to a safer distance, maintaining visual control while reducing exposure to the blast. The second detonation further compromises the entrance, stripping away remaining cover inside. Moments later, Russian soldiers begin exiting, one at a time, unarmed, hands raised. Disoriented by the repeated explosions and surrounded on all sides, they choose surrender over continued resistance. The detainees are secured and escorted away. The Ukrainian unit then withdraws in an orderly manner, concluding the operation without further engagement.